know and appreciate know and appreciate everything that Mashika does with a Healthier You Incorporated in a time where many organizations, during the pandemic were struggling to stay afloat and many didn't. She not only has, but started one, which is really inspiring. So when she came to me to ask if I could, do one of presentation, I didn't have to think twice about this. So we're going to talk about a healthy career to your, a healthy approach to your career. This is an updated healthy lifestyles, positive attitude series that we at MedStar Family Choice host. First time presenting the newer version, so hopefully it goes well. If you have questions along the way, please feel free to jump in and ask. Otherwise, here's kind of what we'll be talking about today. In terms of your career, we're going to, it's going to be a little outside of the box that what you may be used to when we think about our careers, like resume building and all that stuff. While important, we're going to today discuss the importance of good health, education, as well as the importance of a daily schedule, time management, and setting goals. And then we're going to wrap up with the importance of a positive attitude, and then talk about job opportunities as well. Excuse me, I almost forgot before I do get started. Everything that I do now, I have to mention Medicaid redetermination is going on. So if you know of anybody who has Medicaid, it's not, the renewal is not automatic this year. They have to reapply, get redetermined for it. So just as a, put that in your all ear. The importance of good health. So when we think about good health, it's really easy to let time and the year get away from us. And so preventive healthcare sometimes may take a backseat to our lives, because we feel good, we're young. We may not think that preventative healthcare is necessary. However, regular checkups from your primary care provider are extremely important. Those include those yearly physical exams that are generally covered once a year under your health insurance. So should be no or limited cost to you depending on your health care. And then also it's really important to keep your immunizations up to date around a platitude of things. It could have, has to do with COVID-19. There's a new variant out right now with a new vaccination out as well. The flu shot gets updated every year. But by attending your yearly regular physical exams, not only do you get that clean bill of health, hopefully, but if there is something wrong, hopefully we catch it early enough that it doesn't become something that becomes more serious. There's ways to combat that in the early goings. It also gives you an opportunity to really get to know your primary care provider. That's the doctor that's going to know you best. So in case something does eventually come up, they know who you are. They've seen your face. They see you every year, and they can take better care of you based off of that relationship that you build with them by going to them at least once a year for that annual physical. And then regular dental visits. I know that again, something that is very easy to just let slip by, but teeth cleanings are generally, again, covered depending on the health insurance that you have, generally covered twice a year, every 6 months. But you also want to go just to make sure not only your teeth, but your gums and all, because if not, there are ways, for negative health implications to take place in your mouth and travel elsewhere. So doing those two things regularly, again, just setting aside basically 3 days a year to cleanings and a yearly physical, really go a long way. When we talk about the importance of good health, I liken it to a tree, right? So what we see on the outside of our bodies is the tree. It's the branches, it's the leaves, it's the fruit that bears from it. But when we take care of our body and mind, it's kind of like those are the roots underneath of everything. And so we want our roots to start growing from a very early age. And when we think about the symbolism of a tree, what does it need? It needs water, plant food, and sunlight, very similar to what we as humans need as well. So when we're growing physically, those roots are able to sprout out and reach further away and grow deeper and stronger. And how do we do that? With a proper diet as well as healthy habits. And then when we grow mentally, again, those roots grow stronger as well. And we get that through just obviously our education through childhood up through high school, college, if that was an option. But not only just the systemic education, but different life skills that we ascertain throughout our different experiences with different people that we meet, whether it's through jobs as high schoolers or internships when we're in college. Those life skills are going to help build us and turn us into the people that we are. And then lastly, the wisdom that is imparted upon us from our elders, people that we just genuinely get to know and are good people and we can rely on and use their wisdom that they impart on us to make good and healthy life decisions. Now, when we talk about the importance of good health in food, it's very easy to pick foods that taste good. Obviously, that's why you want to eat it. However, some of those foods aren't necessarily the best for us, and I'm not breaking any news by saying that. But when we think about the importance of good health, we want to try to eliminate as much mucus as we can. That kind of slows us down, congests us, especially during this fall season, whenever the weather starts to turn and there are more varied viruses and variants in the air. It's harder for us to eliminate them from our body cycle while having a lot of mucus. So, and instead of trying to eat corn or ice cream, something that has a lot of mucus in it, some of the more fresh foods, something more citrusy, acidic, limes, pineapples, different asparagus. Garlic is a great decongestion for mucus. So when you're thinking about good health, look, I was talking to Mashika before everybody else joined. It's been that kind of day. It's kind of been that kind of week. I would love to go for some fast food and some ice cream right about now. It's okay to do that in moderation, but we also want to make sure that we're not that we are getting enough variance so we can make sure that we have that good health. And then when we think about good health and okay, why should I eat some good food? Yeah, I've always heard that eating your fruits and vegetables are, we need to have those regular dosages of it, but why? Well, if we know the reasons why we're eating these foods, it perhaps will allow it to be easier for us to eat it. So, for example, if you eat a banana, it's high in potassium, boosts your energy. Blueberries are great when it protects the hearts. If you eat a kiwi, you're increasing your bone mass. So, just different things that these fruits can carry that are going to help your body along the way. So, basically, you're taking care of your body by simply eating. So, always look into what benefits that certain foods can provide for you throughout the day. And then lastly, water. Obviously, water is a huge component of good health. It makes up 75% of your brain and helps carry nutrients and oxygen to the different cells in your body. I always walk around with a cup of water. Start the day with a cup of coffee, and then I kind of transition right to the water. So it's going to help your body absorb nutrients more. Water is all throughout our body. 83% of our blood is made up of water, 22% of our bones as well. And it's going to help flush our system out, removing the waste that perhaps is going to slow us down throughout the course of the day. Then we're going to transition and talk about exercise. Mashika mentioned that exercise is the one thing that calms her and is relaxing. And I envy that. Finding the time to exercise is difficult, but just doing something, going out for a walk, getting a daily stretch and doing yoga, all of that stuff is going to help us to exercise and be in better health. Why? Obviously we know that it's going to make us healthy, but specifically what? It's going to help us with our weight control. It's going to help us with a healthier heart, and reducing the risk of high blood pressure. But some other things that we might not have thought about as the important benefits of exercise, we're going to have a better self-image of ourselves. When we look in the mirror, we do that double take. I'm like, yeah, that looks pretty good. I see that hard work finally starting to pay off. And that's going to, improve your self-image, improve your confidence. It's going to give you a higher self-esteem, walking around feeling good. Your head's going to be lifted higher. Your chest is going to be out a little, puffed out a little bit stronger. You're going to have more energy as well. The blood's going to be circulating throughout your body during these exercises. And so if you're able to understand why exercise is so important and not just because the doctor says so, or I know that I have to exercise. It's such a drag to get out of bed and go do a half hour, 45 minutes. If you can understand these other benefits to exercise. It's going to help motivate you to actually do that on a regular basis. One thing that we do at MedStar Family Choice is we developed a program called Fitness in Five. And what this is at 11 o'clock every day, we take a break as an organization and we all get up and do these simple low impact movements. It's basically 5 minutes of stretching as an organization, as a team. It obviously increases our flexibility and improves our performance in physical activity as well as our posture, but it's going to also help us with stress relief. It's going to help calm the mind. It's going to take us away from the computer for 5 minutes where we're not looking at a screen, but rather we're focusing on our bodies. We're focusing on our blood flow. So simple low impact movements where anybody can do it wherever they are, such as reaching up, doing some shoulder rolls, some core twists. We bend down to touch our toes, do simple neck rolls, and then side to side shoulder stretching. That takes about 5 minutes. And we, like I said, we do it as an organization at 11 o'clock every day. We build it into our calendar. So, whenever we're at work, we have that notification pop up saying, all right, stop, take a break. It's time for us to move around a little bit. And you see the benefits. You see people come to this on a consistent basis because it does improve their overall, not only their day, but their overall health. Now we're going to talk about the importance of education quickly. Again, this is things that you've probably heard in the past: reading, writing, math skills, right? The 3 R's, as they would say back in my day. Well, that's an old thing to say, isn't it? 35, but it still was. Reading, writing, and arithmetic. It's the basis of education, right? And not that those aren't important, but what I'm learning throughout my professional career is those are becoming less important, and there are other things such as computer skills, life skills, wisdom, and how to just treat people with decency are a little bit more important. That's not to say that we get emails that come in every day. We have to send out emails every day. Reading is paramount. Writing is essential. But it's not like we have to be masters of that to be super successful in the world, and our business world. And then so I want to move quickly from that to the importance of a daily schedule. This is something that I've learned very quickly by having 2 kids. It's really, really important to develop a regular routine. It's not only beneficial for the rest of the family, the kids, but for myself and in my organization, my job as well, to be able to give them the time and the attention that they all need. So we want to create a regular routine for the morning, afternoon, evening, and even bedtime. Now, those can vary by the day. If you want a Monday, Wednesday, Thursday schedule, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule, and a Tuesday, Thursday, that's fine. But something that should be consistent throughout the course of the week, to where exactly what is going to happen from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed. Now, the one thing that I do want to really stress is to allow for flexibility. In our everyday world now, everything is so sudden and so instantaneous that it's very easy to compact a Monday schedule with meetings and exercise and picking up kids and cooking dinner without a break in between. That does not allow for flexibility. And if something unseen comes up, that can really throw a wrench in one's entire day, if not entire week. Allow for flexibility. Give yourself a 10-minute window in between activities. Allow yourself to go to the bathroom, get that extra cup of water, do 5 minutes for stretching. Allow for travel time when things don't seem as they are. You look at your Google Maps and, okay, it's only going to take me a half hour to get from point A to point B, but 10 minutes into that trip, there's an accident. And now, because we didn't build in that extra time in our schedule, we no longer have that flexibility. And again, things are more likely and tend to get thrown off. So the ability also to multitask is something that I started to learn very importantly when working from home. For instance, right before this meeting, I threw in a load of laundry. It's finishing up right now, and whenever we end, I'm going to switch it over to the dryer. So just by being able to do some smaller things throughout the course of the day to multitask and know that it takes about an hour to do a load of laundry. All right, so put a load in, and then I have an hour to work. Then I get up and I'm able to switch over that load of laundry, and guess what? that serves as a little bit of a break for me as well. So being able to be flexible throughout the course of the day and multitask is going to make your routine a whole lot easier. The importance of time management and goal setting. Time management is really important uh, to 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 maintain a calendar, right? Um, if we don't, if we kind of leave things up in the air, what happens? I'll get to it later. We keep pushing things off. And then eventually later never happens. Or we push everything off to a time where now everything must come due. And that is going to increase your stress levels. It's going to make you, uh, not perform at the best. So again, I like to break my days down by the hour. I know some people do it to the half hour. Some people, I'm sure, somewhere probably even do it to the minute. Whatever works for you, develop a system in which you can manage your time wisely. I've also found the importance of maintaining a calendar. And a lot of us, again, have our calendars on our phones, on our computers. I like to write it down in an actual calendar in a planning book. By writing it down, it is proven that you will remember things more as opposed to just typing it and placing it in there. I like to be able to feel the paper to see what it's coming up and throughout the course of the day and the week and the month. It's always really important to write down your goals too. See what you're working towards. And if things aren't going, if it looks like you're not going to meet your goal, that's okay. There's always time to be able to adjust those goals. And it's really important to not think of it as a failure if you don't, but rather maybe you had taken, bit off a little bit more that you could chew at that first point. So we're going to readjust. We're going to reset those goals to a goal that's more attainable. Still working toward that large goal at the end, but it might just take a little bit more time to get there. So write down those tasks that you're going to accomplish every day as well. I check them off. I cross them off the list. I know I'm that much closer to being done with my day and having some free time that may have been unaccounted for throughout my day. And then the most important thing, rest and relaxation. It is very easy just to get swamped with work and the tasks of every day, creating a breakfast, lunch, and dinner for your family, paying the bills, cleaning up around the house, all that stuff. There needs to be built-in time for you as a human to rest, to relax, to recharge your batteries, whether that's through a vacation, whether you want to set aside specific time to focus on certain hobbies, just going outside, sitting in front of a fire for a couple of hours, whatever it is, it's going to be different for each and every one of us. It's really important in the calendar to make sure you include rest and relaxation. It also gives you something to look forward to as you progress through the days and the weeks. I talked a little bit about this earlier, time urgency. We're always in this continual state of hurry, worry. There's false emergencies and rushing around and getting too busy. That's why, again, it's really important to focus on that calendar and try to stick with it while building in some flexibility as well. And then time robbing. Again, how many times do we get on social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, what have you, whatever your druthers may be? You're like, oh, I'm going to just do that for 5 minutes. And then next thing you know, 2 hours later, you're still, scrolling through, the timelines. It makes us become less productive, unfocused, have a difficult time organizing our days. So whenever we're building out our schedules, be sure to put some time in for social media if that's something that's important to you. Build in that half hour, build in that 10 minutes. Okay, I have this specific amount of time. But if we're just sitting at our computer, it's really easy to pick up the phone and for half the day to kind of get lost before we realize what we're actually doing. Lastly, focus on the target. Find something that you like to do. I mean, we have this life to live one time. Why should we focus on doing something that we don't like doing? And then something that I find that works for myself is striving for excellence. I want to be the best at what I do all the time. I want to be able to share my knowledge with the future generations that come behind me, but I also want to strive for excellence for the people that I currently serve in my position, and definitely for looking at ahead in the future for promotional activities, for promotional opportunities rather. It's going to boost your confidence. It's going to be passionate about something. Find something that you like doing. Strive to be the best for it. Now, there is always a saying that you'll never be the best. And I do believe that too. I believe that someone somewhere will always be better, but that's why we strive for excellence. Keep working towards that unattainable goal, but it's unattainable for the right reason. All right. When we talk about job opportunities, MedStar Health is currently hiring. They're hiring all the time. There's over 3,000 jobs, I believe, currently available at MedStar Health. So I work at MedStar Family Choice. I liken it to a big umbrella. MedStar Health is the parent company, and there's different organizations underneath of it, like Family Choice and all the doctors' offices, the hospitals. There's a litany of job opportunities in the healthcare field that I didn't know was available until I got this job as a community relations coordinator. Very well aware of doctors, nurses, paramedics, all that stuff. But there's opportunities in food service. There's opportunities in security. There's opportunities in transportation, IT, data analysis. Whatever avenue that you want to pursue, there most likely is an opportunity within the healthcare system that you could provide or possibly explore. MedStar Health is a great organization to work for. The benefits are extraordinary for myself and my family. They see the importance of taking a break and giving their employees vacation by starting off 3 weeks of vacation, paid vacation. A lot of jobs will give you 2. And then there are other internships and volunteer programs that you can also look into. So when we're talking about doing something that's of passion of yours, and you might have a hard time breaking into that different field, look for an internship or a volunteer program while still maintaining your current job, because I get it. Like, we have to be able to provide a lifestyle that we're currently living. And it's very hard to just quit and jump into something new. So by taking on an internship or a volunteer program, you can meet the contacts that would necessary to dictate a change of careers to something that you might be more passionate about. So there was one slide that I didn't put in there. I meant to, and I apologize for not. And I'll stop sharing my screen right now, and I'll just tell it to you all face to face. One of the biggest things that I believe in is never having a second chance to make a first impression. Whether that's by the way that you look, the way that you talk, the way that you present yourself. Whenever we meet, we have that one opportunity. And as much as we don't like to admit, we base a lot of our own judgments off of that first opportunity. So whenever you're going in for a job interview, whenever you're meeting somebody for the first time, present yourself in the way in which you want to be, in which you want those people to know. And I'll end with a quick story. I graduated from college in 2009, and I was working at a radio station in West Virginia, making pennies, making minimum wage. So I was looking for another part-time job, and Sherwin-Williams, the paint company, had a store in the same town looking for part-time help. And so I applied. I knew nothing about paint. I knew I was a hard worker. I could learn about it. Didn't really have a passion for it, but I just needed some more money. So I went in for my interview, and I had on a button-down shirt and tie, no jacket, just a button-down shirt and tie, nice pants. I eventually got the job. I interviewed well, got the job. So I talked to the hiring manager shortly after I got hired, and I said, why me? I know nothing about paint. I'm a 21-year-old college kid, right? Why me? He said, you were the only candidate who wore a tie to the interview. And that was the sole reason I got that job. So again, first impressions can last a lifetime. So Mashika, I appreciate the opportunity to speak. I hope people got a little bit of something